So class, this deals with how one gets energy from food. This says it all in a nutshell. I think this is a nice way of presenting things, but there's a fundamental point here that deals with where is this energy we talk about that all animals need to reproduce, to make claws, fur, etc. Where does this energy come from? Well, ultimately, the energy comes from the sun, and from the sun, the plants capture the energy from the sun, and then we eat products from the plants, and ultimately end up getting something from the sun and the plants. And what is that? The bottom line of this whole talk is right here, called hydrogen ions. All the food that we eat, sooner or later, is going to be broken down, or has in it, I should say, this little hydrogen ion. It's this hydrogen ion right here that we process to make energy. That's the bottom line as you're taking a look at this. Okay, they're called the components of our food that we ingest to produce energy for all our chemical and physical processes. Amen. That's what it's all about. So you can go through this here. Someone's having a happy birthday. They take the cake. They eat the cake. And as you eat the cake then goes into some kind of intestinal system or some kind of processing system. What does that processing system do when it says it digests the food? Sure, we have proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. Proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids, so we're going to talk about that have many products, but the reason we eat proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids is because they have this hydrogen ion that our enzymes can take from the food. This is a major point to go from the gastrointestinal system, the food that's in there. There have to be enzymes. Those are chemicals that take and strip off the hydrogen ion. So what happens? This chemical here has been taken from our food. That food, in this case, let's say glucose, goes from the stomach to the cell. And in the cell, the hydrogen ion, look, I'm putting it here as hydrogen ion, H+, is taken from that molecule inside the cell. And inside the cell, there's something called the mitochondria, that magical organelle that takes that hydrogen ion and makes energy. The energy that it makes is called ATP. So you don't have to say anymore you need energy. What you're really saying is you need this chemical called ATP, which powers all of our physical processes. ATP in the mitochondria is produced by way of having the hydrogen ion from our food. Now, besides the hydrogen ion from our food, we do need something else over here. It's called oxygen. So, very well done here. Oxygen from our food, or oxygen from the atmosphere, hydrogen ion from our food that meet in the mitochondria to make ATP, and that's what it's all about. So, the intestinal system here breaks up the various components of the proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids that then are transferred by way of the blood to the cells. In the cells, those chemicals that are in the cell that our enzymes can process and strip off the hydrogen ion then goes to make a high energy compound called ATP in conjunction with oxygen. So when you're looking at food up here, this beautiful cake is loaded with all kinds of sugar. Well, the sugar basically has in it the hydrogen ion. And that's what you're taking from the icing and from the cake up here, is ultimately the hydrogen ion. So any food that you eat, really you're looking at the hydrogen ion that can be captured inside the cell, that goes to the organelle, the mitochondria, to make ATP. And it's that simple. All right. Hopefully this puts together some concepts so it makes sense and is interesting as you eat the birthday cake. Thank you very much.